In-house editing jobs have exploded in the last decade. Retail brands, museums, universities, government departments, digital agencies, they're all hiring editors to churn out content for social, for marketing, for internal promos, and for short-form campaigns. Now, on the surface, it looks like a win for us editors. You're being paid to edit, you're working in a team, you're producing video content regularly. But for a growing number of in-house editors, the excitement wears off pretty quickly. It's not burnout, it's not a lack of motivation, it's something harder to articulate, but you feel it deeply. It's a creative wall. So in this episode, I'm going to talk you through how we can escape this situation and start working on the films you actually want to work on. I'm Paddy Bird, and this is Inside the Edit. This new wave of editors is almost entirely self-taught. You learn on the job, you move fast, you figure it out as you go. There's no formal feedback loop like there used to be in the traditional post-production world. No experienced editor mentoring you on structure or story or rhythm. You're on a small team. You don't choose your projects. And after a while, it starts to blend into one. It's digital, it's short form, it's fast turnaround. It's the same kind of content over and over and over again. There's no variation. There's no room to try out new things. And critically, there's no path to the complexity of high-end films. The work is consistent, the deadlines are tight, but the storytelling muscle, it barely gets touched. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Just because you're editing, it doesn't mean you're evolving. Most in-house editors aren't doing anything wrong. The problem is structural. When every video is 60 seconds long, when it's heavy on graphics, light on emotion, and aimed at social media algorithms, there's only so far you can go. You plateau. And this is the editing wall that so many hit. You feel like you've mastered the job, but deep down, you know you're nowhere near your creative potential. Talk to enough in-house editors and a pattern emerges. They don't just want to make content. They want to craft stories. They want to build dramatic narratives. They want to work on something that lasts longer than a few minutes. Now, they may want to work on documentaries. Maybe they want to edit drama. Maybe it's political or social essays. Maybe it's a mini-series or a full-length feature. Something with multiple arcs, with structure, with emotional pacing, and with visual strategy. The tools are there, the software's open, but there's a ceiling you can't break through when your entire day job revolves around short-form commercial content. So how do you escape it? How do you go from in-house generalist to narrative storyteller? This is the biggest mind shift most editors need to make. Your job is not your training. It pays the bills, it fills your schedule, but if it's not pushing you to develop high-level storytelling instincts, it's not preparing you for the career you actually want. This is the paradox of modern editing careers. The industry gives you speed and opportunity, but almost zero time to actually evolve. So you have to build that second skill layer yourself. When I started out, I worked early mornings, late evenings, weekends on anything I could. I'd edit for pizza and a few beers back in those days. I had a day job that paid my rent and access to an Avid, but everything else was pretty much done for free or very cheap. Now here's the thing. If you want to edit long-form narrative projects, you're going to have to start cutting long-form narrative projects. There is no way of replicating or cheating this. Evenings, weekends, whenever you can find the time. But you're also going to need to find long-form content to cut. So here's what you do. Pick some YouTube channels or creators whose work you respect. Documentaries, visual essays, storytelling, commentary, whatever. Reach out. Offer to edit something for free or cheap. Tell them you're building your skills and want to contribute. Here's another one. Contact film schools and ask to speak to directors who are just graduating. Treat these projects like training grounds, not content gigs. One of the best TV drama editors I know got his first feature recently by doing exactly this. He cut indie projects at night, passion films on the weekend. No fanfare, no big connections, just years of disciplined practice outside of his official job. Eventually, a director noticed. He got his shot and he nailed it. One of the things I struggled with when trying to break into high-end editing was learning the language used in a professional edit suite. Learning all of the terminology really does help when shaping your mind for every stage of the creative process. And that is why I created this for you. It's a beautifully designed film poster that I call the periodic table of editing terminology. 50 of the most used creative terms you'll hear in a pro suite. You can print it out and put it up on the wall of your cutting room or keep it as a screensaver. Just click on the link in the description below, head on over to insidetheedit.com and download it right now. Memorize every single one and you'll start sounding like a high-end editor very quickly. Now, when many editors feel stuck, their instinct is to look outward. I just need to learn more plugins. I should get better at After Effects. Maybe I need to take a new course on AI tools. But 99% of the time, that's not the real problem. The real problem is this. You haven't practiced the most valuable skill in editing, telling emotionally engaging stories over time. And no plugin can fix that. Inside the Edit was born out of this exact space, where technical skill is expected, but creative storytelling is rarely taught. Structure, arcs, emotional rhythm, scene evolution, timing, because that's what separates content from cinema. That's what elevates editors from button pushers to artists. That's what actually makes you valuable in high-end, long-form editing. The answer isn't to add more layers to an already chaotic schedule. It's to work strategically. Focus on the one thing that will truly move your career forward, your ability to think like a storyteller. Editing isn't about speed, it's about decisions. Thousands of them. Every frame, every cut, every beat, every line of dialogue or B-roll shot. And when you're only working in short-form commercial loops, you're never really challenged to think structurally. You stay on the surface, and worse, you get used to it. You can be 5 years into an in-house career, highly competent, fast, respected by your team, and still nowhere near where you want to be creatively. And that's not failure, that's the modern editing trap. So here's the real question. What are you doing between 6 p.m. and midnight? Because that's where the real growth can happen. That's when you make the leap from content cutter to storyteller. From short form to long form, from job to craft, from good enough to undeniable. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need Netflix to call. You don't need to quit your job. You just need to build the second path quietly, intelligently, and persistently. Because your skill ceiling, it's not in your company. It's not in your client list. It's not even in your software. It's in your choices. And once you've chosen to train like a narrative editor, every hour becomes a brick in that wall, the one that leads to the work you are always meant to do. Thank you for your kind attention, dear friend. I'm Paddy Bird, and this is Inside the Edit.